Now, recently I just made another video about some predictions about the Pokemon anime, specifically the end of Sun and Moon, including after the Pokemon League, of course, the Galar region in Pokemon Sword and Shield, specifically the Sword and Shield anime, as we are expecting because the games and the anime have always gone hand in hand. So, after the recent video where I made some predictions, I forgot some things that came up later on, so I decided to get those out of the way and make a short video about some more predictions about the Pokemon anime. And there's really only two predictions that I have left to say. So, the first one would have to be that during the Pokemon League, I predict that Meltan will evolve into Melmetal. The reason I'm predicting this is because, first of all, there's a whole group of Meltan in the anime with really very few things to do, and they seem to be multiplying for no reason. So obviously their species isn't completely understood. They're multiplying on their own, probably because they keep getting fed. So the more you feed them, the more they multiply. I think that's how they work. So at this rate, it would make sense that Ash's Meltan, in a pinch probably during battle, because it's not as strong as his other Pokemon to some extent, I think in a pinch it'll have to evolve in order to continue battling for Ash, and I think that'll be an interesting scene. It'll be surprising, especially if you don't know about this prediction, because I think it's very likely, but even if it didn't occur to you, I think it'd be a good surprise. I think they might make it nice and epic, the animation, because it'll have to involve the other Meltan, because that seems to be the way Melmetal is evolved. You have to combine a whole bunch of Meltan, and this might ruin the theory I made in the last video where I predicted that Meltan will go with Ash to the Galar region. So I am putting that theory aside and putting this theory ahead of it, because I think that it evolving during the Alola League should be prioritized over either Meltan or Melmetal going to the Galar region. I actually don't care whether Meltan or Melmetal goes to the Galar region. That's not as important as it evolving in the Alola League, because I think that would be more appropriate. And maybe, just maybe, its evolution will be the final thing necessary, along with any surprise appearances or whatever of his 6 Pokemon, since that's still unknown. Ash's 6 Pokemon aside, I think Meltan evolving into Melmetal is going to be the final thing needed for him to get through all the battles in the Alola League before becoming champion, potentially, as I predicted, but also at some point losing to the Master Royal in the exhibition match, which, again, I'm only predicting that he's going to become the winner but lose to the Master Royal. For all we know, he might not even be the winner in the first place, and for all we know, he'll be the winner and beat the Master Royal, but I think it's most likely that he'll lose the exhibition match after winning the league. But those theories are already stated in my previous video. Again, I still think Meltan evolving into Melmetal is something that should happen, so I'm gonna predict that it's likely, because they'll make it look cool with all the Meltan combining, and no one would predict this. No one in the anime knows that it even evolves, so it'll be a big surprise, and I hope they make it nice and dramatic. So, second theory. It involves the show after Sun and Moon ends. Eventually, it is most likely Ash will go to the Galar region. We don't know anything about this. We haven't seen any details. All we know is what we know about the video games. And the biggest thing I want to discuss is the potential for Ash using Dynamax. Now, I already mentioned that at some point the plot will most likely find a reason for him to stop using his Z-Ring. So, whether that's true or not doesn't really matter. But if he does eventually gain the power to Dynamax, my theory is that either Pikachu will have to get into its Pokeball, or Ash will never Dynamax Pikachu, one or the other. Or maybe a combination of these two. Maybe Pikachu, because it's never ever gone inside its Pokeball willingly, maybe Pikachu won't Dynamax throughout the series of Sword and Shield, and maybe it resolving its fear of Pokeballs and its stubbornness in that sense, maybe it'll get over that at the very end of Sword and Shield in 3 years, or how long it takes, because I think it might make some good plot or character development for Pikachu to slowly get to the point where it wants to help Ash in a desperate battle, probably maybe even in the Sword and Shield Pokemon League, which will be years from now, and maybe after years of it struggling with its feelings, maybe after 3 years, then it'll finally accept being Dynamaxed into a giant Pikachu. So if they go that route, I'll be most satisfied, but if they don't, then either Pikachu will never Dynamax, or Pikachu might get over its aversion to being inside a Pokeball right away, and it'll be the first Pokemon Ash ever Dynamaxes. But I think the most likely theory should be that Pikachu will never Dynamax, or it'll get over it slowly over a few seasons. Because I like that part of the story more than it just Dynamaxing right away, because that would make no sense. It's been ages since Ash and Pikachu have been together, and it has never once willingly gone inside its Pokeball, or even gone inside its Pokeball at all. The only time it was ever in its Pokeball was when they first met, and we don't even know how it was put in there in the first place, probably by force, or when it was first caught. So, I think many people have already realized this, but I just like to get it out there, that Pikachu being against being inside a Pokeball means that Pikachu either will never Dynamax, or it'll Dynamax after seasons, or maybe at least many episodes of it, you know, maybe some sort of psychological therapy, or maybe we might even find the reason why it's so against being inside its Pokeball. Now, I have to mention Pokemon the movie, I Choose You, because at the end of that movie, there was that very odd, controversial scene where Pikachu talks and says that the reason it doesn't want to be inside its Pokeball is because it wants to always be with Ash. Yeah, since that's technically a separate timeline, we're not going to mention that ever again. I think it's for the best that we don't mention that ever again. So, what do you guys think? These two theories. Meltan will evolve into Melmetal in the Alola League, and Pikachu either will never Dynamax, or will Dynamax after years of therapy, or whatever it takes. You know, I think these theories are pretty solid, or, you know, both of them are pretty likely based on every piece of evidence so far. So yeah, what do you guys think? Comment down below, feel free to share your ideas, and for those of you who are subscribed to my channel, feel free to come to my Discord. You could find the link in the description below, so you could chat with other subscribers about Pokemon or whatever, you know? Also, check out my Twitter, and for those of you who aren't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. And for the rest of you, feel free to leave a like, share a comment like I said, and also check out my channel for more videos like this. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.